The moment the fountain pen scratched across the divorce petition, I heard the man behind me break down. Luna, please don't go. It's my fault. Just give me one more chance, okay? I didn't look back. I walked out of the Los Angeles County Courthouse in my stilettos. Behind me came the thud of something heavy hitting the ground. I turned. The once arrogant Adrian was kneeling on the steps, his face streaming with tears. Luna, you can't do this to me. I curved my lips into a smile. Adrian, now you beg me? Too bad. Too late. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. The red light outside the operating room burned for a full 6 hours. I hugged the thermos on the bench until my legs went numb before Adrian finally strode out, exhausted. Surgery went perfectly. He peeled off his surgical mask, revealing a face still handsome beneath the fatigue. I jumped up at once. You worked so hard. I brought white fungus lotus seed soup. He took the thermos but didn't open it. Instead, he glanced toward the oar. Where's the family? In the private suite, I answered carefully, studying his expression. Adrian, are you too tired? Why not come home early tonight? Can't. I still have rounds. He shook his head. Luna, go on home. Don't wait for me. I'd lost count of how many times I'd heard that line in 3 years of marriage. I'll wait in the lounge. Then, and sort your files for you. Really? No need. Impatience crept into his voice. I'll probably stay overnight. You'd just be bored here. He was already striding toward the elevator, leaving me alone in the empty west corridor of Riverside Medical Center in Riverside, California. I squeezed my car keys, a familiar ache flooding me. Just as the doors shut, I saw a figure in pink scrubs hurry after him, an outline I knew by heart. Chloe, head nurse of cardiothoracic surgery and my husband's right hand. I stood there a long while, then finally turned and left. Back home, the penthouse in downtown LA felt bone cold. Perez had clocked out hours ago. Only the silent walls kept me company. I messaged Adrian, home safe. When will you be back? Half an hour later, not tonight. Sleep well. I stared at the screen, then opened his Instagram. His newest post, 2 hours old, showed a latte and a red velvet cupcake captioned night shift refuel. Across the table, barely in frame, lay a woman's slender hand wearing a tiny butterfly ring. I zoomed until my heart skipped, the ring I'd seen on Chloe. And the background wasn't the hospital. It was a chic cafe in Santa Monica. My hands began to shake. So rounds, so night shift, had all been lies. They were together. I scrolled. More clues glared back. Last week he'd claimed an academic conference in San Francisco, yet the backdrop was a Ferris wheel at Venice Beach. The month before, another overnight duty, but the photo showed a midnight bar in Hollywood. In every shot a trace of her, a stainless tumbler, an Apple Watch, a bouquet of peonies. I went numb. I'd been living in a daydream. All the tenderness, the picture-perfect marriage, fabricated. I collapsed on the sofa and cried until my phone's FaceTime tone jolted me awake. It was grandfather. Luna, why aren't you asleep this late? Grandpa, my voice cracked. What's wrong? Did that Adrian boy hurt you? Theodore's tone turned razor sharp. No, I just miss you. I wiped my eyes, forcing calm. Silly girl. Come stay a few days if you miss me. Tomorrow's Saturday. Bring Adrian for dinner. Okay, Grandpa. After he hung up I cooled. Maybe it was time to go back to the place where I was still treasured. I texted Adrian, dinner at Grandpa's tomorrow? Are you free? He answered instantly, you go, surgery scheduled. Another operation. I gave a soft laugh and said nothing more. He wouldn't care whether I went or stayed. I no longer mattered. The woman named Chloe held his heart now. I suddenly wondered if I vanished, would he feel even a flicker of loss? The next morning I packed and headed to my childhood home, Sterling Manor in Beverly Hills. Adrian was still asleep. I didn't wake him. I left a sticky note on the dining table, oatmeal with berries in the kitchen. Don't forget your beta blockers. Just as I had every single day of our 3-year marriage, I still fussed over his life. And when had he ever truly cared about me? Driving to the manor, I felt everything bittersweet. I'd traveled this route countless times. Whenever life bruised me, grandfather's arms had been my safe harbor. But I was no longer the carefree girl who once ran through these gates. I was a woman betrayed by her husband. Tears blurred the road. The mansion sits on the most coveted acreage in Beverly Hills, over 10,000 square feet. Security spotted my car from afar and waved. Miss Luna is back. The old master's been waiting in the tea pavilion since dawn. I forced a smile and pulled into the courtyard. Sure enough, Theodore sat in the rose garden, teacup in hand. Seeing me step out, he opened his arms. My precious girl is home. I flew into his embrace the way I had as a child, and tears burst free. Grandpa, what's this? What's this? Who's bullied my baby? He patted my back. Heartbreak in every touch. No one. I just missed you. I clung to him, greedy for warmth I'd almost forgotten. Silly child. You can come home anytime. He released me and studied my face. You've lost weight. Has that Adrian boy been neglecting you? I shook my head. Adrian treats me well. Treats you well, my foot. Theodore snorted. 3 years married and no children. What exactly are you two doing? The words knifed straight through me. Children. We barely had a married life. Where would a child come from? Since the wedding, Adrian had pleaded exhaustion from work and seldom came home. On the rare nights he did, he fell asleep instantly, never touching me. I'd swallowed my needs, believing he was simply spent. Now I knew. He already had a woman. He didn't need me. Luna. Grandpa noticed my pallor. Why so pale? It's nothing. Just poor sleep lately. I mustered a smile. Let's go inside. Theodore scrutinized me but let it rest, though suspicion lingered in his eyes. Inside, familiar sights loosened the knot in my chest. Every stick of furniture carried memories. From birth to marriage. 25 of my 28 years had unfolded here. Miss Luna, your favorite steamed egg custard is on the stove, Perez said, beaming. And the sweet and sour ribs you loved as a girl. Thanks, Perez. My nose stung. Fresh tears threatened. Only here did I feel genuinely cherished. By the way, where's the young master? Perez glanced around. The master told the chef to steam the base Adrian loves. He has surgery. Couldn't make it, I murmured. Another surgery? Theodore frowned. That boy lives at the hospital. Doesn't he know he has a wife? I managed a wan grin. A doctor's duty is to save lives. Save lives? Bah. Family matters too. Luna, you can't keep indulging him. I didn't argue. Grandfather was right. Yet what good were lectures now? Adrian's heart had moved on long ago. That woman named Chloe owned it. At lunch I forced myself to act normal so Theodore wouldn't worry. But he was shrewd. Nothing escaped him. Luna, he said suddenly, lowering his chopsticks. Gaze stern. Tell Grandpa straight. Are you and Adrian in trouble? My hand jerked. The meatball I'd speared tumbled back into the bowl. No, everything's fine. Fine? Theodore arched a brow. Then why the tears? I brushed my cheeks. Wet again. Luna, I raised you from a baby. You think you can hide heartbreak from me? His tone softened. Speak. What happened? I bit my lip and, in the end, shook my head. Some things hurt worse when spoken, and I wouldn't burden an old man who'd already given me everything. Seeing I wouldn't budge, he stopped pressing, but I sensed his vigilance had ignited. After lunch I retreated to my old bedroom. It remained frozen in time, my college graduation portrait from USC on the desk. Snapshots with my best friend still tacked to the wall. In every photo, I laughed, eyes brimming with hope. If I could choose again, would I still marry Adrian? Not a chance. But life grants no do-overs. I checked my phone, nothing from him since I'd left. He hadn't even asked if I'd arrived safely. That's how much he cares about me. The last sliver of hope in my heart shattered. Just then my iPhone chimed, thinking it might be Adrian. I excitedly opened the screen, only to find a text from an unknown number. Luna, this is Chloe. I'd like to talk. Seeing her name made my heart skip a beat. She had actually reached out. What did she want? To parade her victory. I stared at the phone, fingers trembling. A few minutes later another message arrived. I know you probably don't want to see me, but there are things I think you deserve to know. I drew a slow breath and replied. What things? It's too much for a call. Let's meet 7 tonight. The downtown LA Starbucks. I hesitated, then finally typed. Fine. Better to confront reality than sit here torturing myself. At least I'd learn how far they'd gone. The afternoon crawled. I sat in my room imagining every possible reason Chloe might want to talk. Was she going to urge me to step aside? Tell me she was pregnant. The more I pictured it, the colder my palms became. At 6:30 I told Grandfather I was meeting a friend and drove to the cafe. Starbucks was half empty. I spotted Chloe instantly in the corner. She looked younger and prettier than in photos, white sundress, hair falling to her shoulders, the picture of innocence. No wonder a man would be tempted. I walked over and sat opposite her, forcing myself to stay calm. Luna, she began, voice soft. Thank you for coming. Say what you came to say. My tone came out icier than I expected. Chloe lowered her gaze, fingers twisting together. I know you must hate me, but why would I hate you? I cut in. You haven't done anything wrong. She blinked, clearly startled. Luna, you know about Adrian and me? I know. I nodded. You're together, correct? Scarlet flooded her cheeks, panic flashing in her eyes. You already knew? Of course I'm not blind. I gave a cold laugh. So, what? You came to gloat? No, she said quickly. I wanted you to know we're in love. And then? Anne, she bit her lip. I was hoping you'd give us your blessing. A laugh escaped me. The nerve, steal my husband, then ask the victim to smile and approve. Chloe, are you aware Adrian and I are legally married? I am, but, her voice faded. He says he doesn't love you, that your marriage exists in name only. Each word felt like a blade sliding between my ribs. So in Adrian's eyes our union was worthless, cheap enough to discuss with an outsider. What else has he said? I kept my voice steady. Chloe glanced at me, uneasy. He said he only married you to repay the Sterling's kindness, not for love. Every syllable whipped across my face. Repay. So I was nothing more than a debt, not a wife. Go on. My voice shook. Luna. She hesitated, then pressed forward. He said you lean on him too much, that it suffocates him. Lean on him. Where? All I did was try to be a decent wife, care, notice, worry. That counts as suffocating. Are you all right? Chloe noticed my change and sounded genuinely concerned. I inhaled, commanding myself to stay composed. I'm fine. Continue. I know it hurts, but you deserve the truth. Her tone softened. Adrian's a good man. He didn't want to hurt you, so he never brought up divorce. But dragging it out helps no one. She met my gaze. You deserve happiness too, don't you? I was silent a long while. She was right. Living in a pretty lie benefited nobody. Better to end it cleanly than rot in make-believe. I understand. I stood. Thank you for telling me, Chloe. So I'll think it over. I lifted my purse. But I have something for you as well. What is it? Adrian isn't as perfect as you imagine. I looked straight at her. If he can betray me, he can betray you. Take care. I turned and walked out. Luna, Chloe called behind me. I didn't look back. The moment I stepped outside, the world seemed to go quiet. 3 years of marriage over, and I was finally free. I reached the penthouse at 9. Adrian wasn't home. The vast rooms held only me. I sat on the living room sofa replaying every sentence Chloe had delivered. So I was a creditor in his mind. So my care felt like chains. So our marriage was a shell. The irony. I'd only just discovered it. At 11 he finally appeared. He froze when he saw me. Luna, you're still up. Waiting. I kept my voice level. We need to talk. He hesitated, then sat beside me. About what? Divorce. The word drained the color from his face. Luna, what are you saying? I'm saying we end this. I repeated. Calm. Why? Did something happen? I actually smiled. Even now he pretended. Adrian, do you see any point in continuing? Of course, he blurted. We're husband and wife. We what? I cut in. Love. A normal life. A shared future? Each question left him speechless. Luna. He reached for my hand. I pulled away. I'm exhausted. I rose. For 3 years I waited for you to turn around, to accept this home. Now I see your heart was never here. So why keep torturing each other? Conflict churned in his eyes. Give me time. I'll change. Change what? I laughed sharply. Stop loving Chloe. Hearing her name, he went whiter. You know? I know everything. Watching his panic, I felt a strange relief, including what you told her. Luna, let me explain. No need. I waved it off. I've figured it out. Better a clean finish than drawn-out agony. I'll visit the attorney tomorrow. I started upstairs. Luna, he shouted. You can't. We can start over. I paused. Back still turned. Some things, once broken, can't be glued. Like us. In the bedroom I packed. There wasn't much. For 3 years I'd lived carefully, afraid to burden him. I'd even curbed my shopping, terrified he'd think I was wasting his money. Now the thought was hilarious. I'm a Sterling heiress. When did money ever worry me? When the suitcase was full I WhatsApped grandfather. Going to stay with you for a while. Tomorrow. He replied instantly. What happened? I answered. Nothing. Just miss you. He didn't press. But he knew. I'd tell him everything once the papers were filed. He would understand. First thing next morning I went to the attorney's office. A silver-haired star litigator, Attorney Carter, grandfather's old friend, met me. Luna, you're sure about divorce? He asked gravely. This isn't trivial. Have you thought it through? I have. I nodded. Please draw up the petition. I don't want anything. I cut him off. The house, the cars, the brokerage account, and they're all his. What? Attorney Carter stared at me in shock. Luna, have you lost your mind? That property is worth tens of millions. I don't care. I shook my head. I just want this marriage over as fast as possible. Attorney Carter frowned at me for a long moment, then finally nodded. All right, I'll draft the divorce petition, but I have to warn you. Given your family's position, you'd better speak with Theodore before this gets out. I will, I said, but please prepare the papers first. I want the paperwork finished quickly. I left the law office and drove straight to Sterling Manor. Grandfather was in the oak-paneled study, going over company documents. The moment he saw me walk in he set the file aside. Luna, why are you home so early? I stopped in front of him and drew a deep breath. Grandfather, I'm divorcing Adrian. The room went so quiet you could have heard a pin hit the carpet. Theodore studied me for a long time, then slowly rose to his feet. Why? He cheated. I spoke the truth in one short sentence. With a nurse. Bastard. Theodore slammed the desk, making the teacups jump. I always knew that Adrian boy was no good. Grandfather, don't be angry. I hurried over to steady him. Your health comes first. How can I not be angry? His face flushed scarlet. Who does Adrian think he is? Bullying my precious granddaughter? I'll make a call right now and have his legs broken. Grandfather, I stopped him hastily. No, we'll handle this civilly. Civil? Theodore gave a cold laugh. Where was his civility when he betrayed you? Luna, you're too kind. Scum like him should pay a price. I knew he ached for me, but I would not be dragged back into anything with Adrian. Grandfather, let's part on peaceful terms. I tried to persuade him. I've already asked Attorney Carter to prepare the divorce petition. What about the property split? Theodore demanded. Every penny of that came from your dowry. I'm walking away from all of it. What? His eyes bulged. Luna, have you gone insane? That's tens of millions. I don't need the money. I shook my head. The sterling fortune could support me for a dozen lifetimes. It's not about the money. Theodore's whole frame shook with rage. It's the principle. Why let that punk off cheap? I went quiet for a moment, then said, Grandfather, I only want this finished. Money can be earned again, but time and energy are finite. I'm not wasting the rest of my life on someone who isn't worth it. Theodore looked at me, his eyes full of heartache. My foolish girl. He sighed. Why so stubborn? Grandfather, I'm not foolish. I clasped his hand. I just want a fresh start. We talked for a long time there in the study. In the end, Theodore gave in. Since you're set on it, we'll do it your way. He patted my hand. But understand this, divorce is fine, but he doesn't get to walk away richer. What do you mean? You'll see. A cold glint flashed in Theodore's eyes. That afternoon Adrian phoned. Luna, where are you? We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. I said, the petition is ready. When can you sign? I won't sign. His voice cracked. Luna, I don't agree to a divorce. I gave a cold laugh. Your agreement means nothing. I've made up my mind. Why? He sounded anguished. Luna, I can change. I can cut Chloe off completely. Too late. I cut him off. Adrian, some mistakes don't get second chances. When I hung up I felt oddly light. 3 years of marriage, almost over. A trace of reluctance, but mostly release. I could finally start living again. That night Adrian appeared at the Sterling Manor gate. He knelt outside, refusing to leave no matter what security said. I need to see Luna, he shouted. Let me explain. When Theodore heard, he was livid. Let him kneel, he snorted. Now he begs. Where was he before? I stood at an upstairs window looking down at Adrian. He wore white scrubs. He'd come straight from Riverside Medical Center. His knees pressed into the cold pavement. Spine ramrod straight. Once proud Adrian, kneeling in the night for a second chance. I won't pretend it didn't move me, but feeling moved doesn't erase the wound. I turned, went downstairs, and walked toward the gate. Miss Luna, the old master said he's not to be let in, security warned. I know, I only want a word with him. I stopped inside the iron bars and looked at the man on his knees. Go home, I won't see you. Hearing my voice, he jerked his head up. Luna, delight flooded his eyes. You came out. I came to tell you to stop wasting your strength. I kept my tone level. We're finished. We're not, he said desperately. Luna, I admit everything, but we can start over. Start over? I gave a cold laugh. Adrian, do you honestly think that's possible? It is. His voice shook. I'll break things off with Chloe. I'll never see her again. Then what? I asked. Can you promise there'll never be another Chloe? He froze. Adrian, the issue isn't Chloe. It's your heart. I met his gaze. You never truly loved me, did you? His mouth opened, searching for a denial, but nothing came. See, even you can't be sure. I turned to leave. So why force something that was never real? Luna, he shouted after me. Broken. Please, one more chance. I paused, my back to him. Adrian, I already gave you 3 years of chances. From the day we married, I kept handing them to you, but you never once treasured them. Now it's too late. Without looking back I walked inside. Adrian's hoarse cry followed me, but my heart had gone ice cold. Early next morning new commotion broke out. I peered from the window. Paparazzi, dozens of them. Adrian reportedly knelt outside Sterling Manor all night to win his wife back. Luna, do you have any comment on your husband's gesture? Sources say a third party broke up your marriage. Is it true? Questions and camera flashes exploded like fireworks. I frowned. How had they found out? Just then Theodore walked in. Grandfather, the reporters outside. I invited them. He spoke calmly. Since that Adrian punk lacks shame, I'll handle him my way. I understood. He meant to destroy Adrian's reputation. Grandfather, Grandfather, isn't that going too far? Far? Theodore sneered. Wasn't it far when he cheated on you? Luna, you're too soft. That's why people walk over you. This time I'm getting you justice. Seeing the steel in his eyes, I knew persuasion was useless. Fine. We were finished anyway. Ripping off the band-aid might save him from false hope. By noon the story had detonated. Someone had leaked details of Adrian's affair with a nurse at Riverside Medical Center. Photos surfaced of them slipping into hotels in Beverly Hills together. His reputation crashed. Riverside faced a media siege. Rumors said the board had summoned him, and I became the object of public pity. Poor Luna, saddled with such a scumbag. Rich heiress or not, a scrub nurse still stole her husband. Luna's counterstrike is brutal. Adrian's finished. Listening to the chatter left me conflicted. He'd brought it on himself. Yet watching him trampled by the mob still stung. After all, we'd once been husband and wife. That afternoon Chloe called. Luna, please, tell the old master to stop. She sobbed. Adrian can't take any more. This has nothing to do with me. I kept my voice icy. You two sowed this field. We know we wronged you, but things have gone far enough. Must you grind us into dust? Grind you into dust? I laughed harshly. Chloe, are you confused? You stabbed marriage in the back. You hurt me, and now you accuse me of cruelty? Words failed her. She could only cry. Let me teach you something. My tone hardened. Actions have prices. Did you think betrayal was free? Now you're scared. Too late. I hung up. A fierce satisfaction rushing through me. Yes, why should I nurse all the pain while they walked off laughing? They chose betrayal. Let them pay the bill. The divorce went through without a hitch. The moment I signed my name, a lightness I'd never felt coursed through me. Free, at last. Across the table Adrian sat, pale as death. Luna, he started, but I cut him off. Adrian, from now on we're strangers. I stood. I wish you and Chloe every happiness. With that, I picked up the divorce decree and walked out without looking back. Behind me a chair clattered to the floor, but I didn't turn around. The moment I stepped out of the courthouse, sunlight spilled across my face, warm and dazzling. A new life began at that instant. Grandfather had been waiting outside. The second he saw me, he hurried over. Silly girl. How did it go? Done. I lifted the decree. I'm a free woman now. Good. Theodore nodded in satisfaction. Come on. Grandfather's taking you to celebrate. We headed to the city's finest restaurant and ordered every dish I loved. To my precious granddaughter's new life, cheers. Theodore raised his crystal glass. Cheers. I tapped mine against his. The red wine slid down my throat with a clean, liberating bite. Luna, what are you planning next? He asked. Haven't decided. I shook my head. Maybe a vacation first. Then I'll think about work. Work? Theodore frowned. Sterling Group will be yours eventually. Grandfather, you're still young. I'm in no rush. Young. My foot. He laughed softly. I'm past 70. It's time I retired and enjoyed life. Here's the deal. You start at the office next month, and I'll teach you how to run the group. I considered it, then nodded. Fine. Having something to do beats sitting around brooding. Besides, it was time I took responsibility for my future. I couldn't keep leaning on others. Just as our chat was in full swing, the dining room erupted. I followed the stairs and spotted Adrian in the doorway. His face was gaunt, eyes shot with red. He looked as if he hadn't slept in days. Luna, he rushed the instant he saw me. What are you doing here? I asked, brows drawing together. I followed you. He was panting. Luna, I have to talk to you. We have nothing left to say. My reply was ice. We do, he blurted. I've broken it off with Chloe. The whispering around us amplified. We had become the floor show. So what? I asked evenly. What has that to do with me? Luna, I really love you. His voice quavered. I was a fool before, but now I see clearly. I can't live without you. Please come back to me. Please. With that he dropped to his knees again. Diners gasped. Phones lifted for photos. Humiliation scalded me. Adrian, get up. I hissed. Stop disgracing yourself. I won't. Desperation blazed in his eyes. Not until you agree to reconsider. Luna, I know I was wrong. I swear I'll never look at another woman, only you. Tears streamed down his face, and something complicated twisted inside me. Once, I would have wept with joy to hear those words. Now it was simply pathetic. Adrian, I crouched to meet his gaze. Do you know, 3 years ago, if you'd said this, I would have cried from happiness. Now I just find it laughable. Your love arrived too late. I straightened and turned to leave. Luna, he screamed after me. You can't do this to me. I gave up everything for you. Without you, I'm nothing. I paused without looking back. What exactly did you give up for me, Adrian? I sneered. Chloe, or did you marry me because Sterling's power was useful? He froze, Clearly he hadn't expected that blow. You think I didn't know? I regarded him from my full height. You married me not for love, but for influence. Whether that's true, your heart already knows. Adrian, we were a mistake from day one. You never truly loved me, and I should never have loved you. Ending it is best for both of us. I walked out beside Theodore, Adrian's shouts echoing behind, but my heart had turned to stone. Divorce proved far calmer than I'd feared. I moved back into Sterling Manor, shared oatmeal and berries with grandfather each dawn, then rode to the office to study management. Adrian still drifted through my thoughts, but the soul-rending pain was gone, replaced by the lightness of freedom. A month later, I officially took charge of part of Sterling Group. Running a conglomerate was tougher than I'd imagined, and more exhilarating. Poring over balance sheets and quarterly earnings reports, I discovered purpose. I was no longer someone's wife, no one's accessory. I was simply myself. Luna, heir to Sterling Group. One afternoon, buried in paperwork, I heard a knock. Luna, someone's here to see you downstairs. Who? I asked without looking up. Chloe. The name startled me. What could she want? Send her up. Minutes later, Chloe stepped in, haggard, eyes ringed with fatigue. Luna, she murmured, hovering at the threshold. Sorry to intrude. Sit. I indicated the chair across from me. What brings you? She sat, silent for a long moment, then blurted, I came to apologize. I set down my pen and studied her. Apologize. For what? For Adrian and me. She kept her head low. We were wrong and we hurt you. A bit late for sorry, isn't it? My tone stayed flat. I know, but I had to say it. She lifted her gaze, remorse swimming in her eyes. Luna, do you know Adrian? He's in a very bad place, and that concerns me. How? Not a flicker of emotion. He was fired from Riverside Medical Center, and with his reputation shot, no other hospital will take him. He drinks all day, locks himself away, won't listen to anyone. I've tried, useless. He says without you he's nothing. A complicated pang stirred, but I steeled myself. Chloe, you're missing the point. Adrian's collapse isn't because I refuse to forgive him. It's the bill for choices he made. When he betrayed our marriage, he signed for the fallout. Regret now is simply too late. Chloe's tears began to fall. Luna, I know I have no right, but I have to ask, could you give him a chance? Even if not to reunite, just to help him stand again? Watching her cry, curiosity surfaced. Why plead for him? Aren't you two together? We broke up soon after your divorce, she whispered, wiping her cheeks. Because I realized he never had room for me, even when we were together. It was you inside his head. I was only an escape hatch. She gave a bitter laugh. Thinking back, I was an idiot to believe I could replace you. My heart tasted every flavor of bittersweet. So Adrian had truly loved me, only too late. Chloe, thank you for telling me. I stood, but between him and me, the door is permanently closed. Some things, once shattered, can't be pieced together. I hope you understand. Chloe nodded in defeated acceptance and rose to leave. At the door she hesitated. Luna, one last question. Yes? Do you still love him? I was silent a long while, then finally shook my head. No, I don't. It was the truth. After everything, my love for Adrian had burned out. All I wanted now was to live on my own terms, free, brilliant, and wholly myself. 2 years later, Sterling Group flourished under my command, and I had evolved from a girl lost in love into a bona fide titan of industry. Tonight was the annual gala. I stood at the podium in a tailored gala gown, addressing the ballroom. Thank you all for your dedication this past year. My voice rang clear. Together, we will make Sterling's tomorrow even brighter. Applause thundered. After the speech I mingled, sipping champagne with senior partners, when my secretary approached. Luna, someone is asking for you. Who? Adrian. Hearing that name, I froze. 2 years. We hadn't seen each other since. I'd catch the occasional rumor he'd opened a small clinic in Pasadena. Business was SOSO, but I'd never gone looking for more. Let him in. A few minutes later, Adrian stepped into the ballroom. He was thinner than I remembered, silver threading his hair, the years etched deeper around his eyes. Yet his gaze had steadied. Luna. He stopped in front of me, voice trembling. Adrian. I kept my tone level. What can I do for you? The polite distance stung. Pain flickered across his face. I came to thank you. Thank me for what? For refusing to take me back. A bitter smile. If you'd relented, we'd still be trapped in that mistake of a marriage. Now I finally know what love is. I've learned that loving someone isn't about possession. It's about wanting her happiness. I studied him, emotions nodding inside. This man had finally grown up. Too late, Adrian. We both have new lives. Let the past stay buried. I know. He nodded. I'm here because I have news. What news? I'm getting married. The words caught me off guard. Congratulations, I said, meaning it. Treasure her this time. I will. His eyes held mine. Luna, we can't be together, but I hope you find your own happiness. Someone as extraordinary as you will be cherished. I smiled but said nothing. Truthfully, I was doing fine. A career I owned. Family in good health. Enough. As for love, I'd let it come if it wanted. I won't keep you. Adrian took one last long look. Take care. You too. Watching him leave, I felt only calm. No resentment. No longing. Just quiet closure. Our story had finally turned its last page. After the gala, I rode home with Theodore. Adrian came to see you, he asked. He's marrying. Wanted me to hear it from him. And you? Theodore glanced over. Ever think of getting married yourself? Not at the moment. I shook my head. This pace suits me. Silly girl. A woman still needs a home. He sighed. Look, old Wang's grandson, PhD abroad. Decent looks. Shall I arrange a coffee? Grandfather. I laughed and groaned. I'm 28. No rush. What's a no rush? He glared. After 30 your advanced maternal age. You want me to deny you great-grandchildren? His bluster made me laugh. Fine, fine. If someone suitable shows up, I'll think about it. Good answer. Theodore nodded, satisfied. Back at the penthouse, I showered and sat on the bed, scanning today's push notifications. One entertainment headline snagged me. Director Rapp's new rom-com. Lead actor's identity fuels buzz. I tapped it. An urban love story about a powerhouse female exec and a gentleman. Studying the still, I grew curious about the male lead. The director never casts weak actors, but it had nothing to do with me. I was only a viewer. I set the iPhone aside and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow would be fresh. My life held endless possibilities, every line waiting for my pen. 3 months later, Sterling Group decided to shoot a corporate promo. I was in my office debating concepts with the production team when the door swung open. Sorry, I'm late. A deep, resonant voice. I looked up and froze. The man in the doorway was maybe 30, tall, carved features, eyes like night sky. I knew that face, the mysterious lead from the article. Miles, you finally grace us. The director rose, grinning. Luna, this is Miles Carter, the star of our promo. Miles, meet Sterling Group CEO, Luna Sterling. He crossed the room and offered his hand. Luna, honored. His palm was warm. Miles, looking forward to working together. Throughout the meeting he impressed me. Sharp grasp of the shooting script. Thoughtful ideas. A calm certainty that invited trust. For the final shot, he suggested. Hand sketching in the air. We could. Agreed. I said, let's do it that way. When everyone packed up, he lingered. Luna, can I borrow 5 minutes? Curious. I nodded. Once the room emptied he spoke. Truth is, the promo isn't the only reason I came. Then why? For you. His gaze locked on mine. May I court you? So direct I almost dropped my pen. Miles, we met half an hour ago. I know how forward it sounds. He cut in gently. But love at first sight happens, at least for me. I studied the earnest planes of his face. An odd flutter stirred inside. Denial would be a lie, he was compelling. And sincerity radiated from him. Yet betrayal had made me wary. Miles, I need time. Of course. He smiled. I'll wait. Wait until you know me, until you're ready. No pressure, no deadline, only a chance to prove my heart. His certainty summoned images of Adrian once promising the same. What had that earned me? I'll think it over. I'll be here. He left with a courteous nod. I sat alone, conflicted. Miles felt good. His quiet strength pulled me. But reason-worn trust should come slow. Love spoils fast. That night I told Theodore. What? Someone's chasing you? His eyes sparked. Details, height, job, income, an actor, handsome, decent. Actor? He frowned. Showbiz is messy, tread carefully. I shrugged, which is why I'm still deciding. Decide what? He huffed. You're pushing 30, not 18. Date him, if it fails. Walk away. We're not in Imperial China. His bluntness cleared the fog. One failure shouldn't bar every door. Maybe I owed myself, and Miles, a chance. Next afternoon Miles texted. Lovely day, lattes. I hesitated, then typed, sure. We met at a quiet cafe in Beverly Hills. Didn't expect a yes, so soon. His grin flashed. Thought I'd wait weeks. I changed my mind. I lifted my cup. Life's short. I won't block sunlight with yesterday's clouds. Well said. He leaned forward. So, are we dating? I suppose. I laughed. Fair warning, I'm slow burn. Patience required. I have stockpiles. From that day we were officially an item, and Miles proved wonderful, gentle, funny, respectful. He never used work as an excuse to vanish. Never whispered to someone else behind my back. By degrees, I fell for him. After 6 months we agreed we were a couple. 1 year in, he proposed. In the Sterling Manor rose garden he knelt. Velvet box open. Luna, marry me? Tears blurred the solitaire engagement ring. feeling. Yes, this time I trust my choice, because this man truly loves me, and I, him. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the story, please hit like and share with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tales. See you next time.